Pardon me while I get all set up here. I know there's no music or jokes or anything. I could put tape on my face and then people would call it art. At least a couple of people get that. So how about it for Stephen Michael Patrick? And I'm Brian Charles Gerald Fitzpatrick Wanda Hart. Are we having a good time so far? Great. Thank you for coming. I look around this room and I see legitimately many of my dear friends here. And it's very comforting, but also makes me incredibly nervous. Please bear with me as we go through this. Shall we begin? You, sir, if I asked you what was in this box, what would you say? Cards. It's the safe answer, right? I mean, if you said elephant, I would have been out of luck, right? It's a different show.
Bam.
Bam.
Santa.
Santa, oh yeah. I know you're wondering. I know what all of you are thinking. In 3 months, he's going to get that mall Santa thing down. And it was a delivery, man. It was a delivery. Now, deck of cards. Where were we? Deck of cards. The safe answer, right? But this is what I enjoy about Magic, is because I can take that answer, but I can shift your perception slightly. Simply by doing this. And now, the game has changed a little bit, right? Because now you're thinking, all right, is there even anything in the box? Or did he take a razor blade to each and every one of those cards just so he could shove a knife through the box, right? But the reality is much stranger than that, because nothing in the box is definitely possible. And taking a razor blade to every card so I can push a knife through a deck of cards is creepy, and would show that I have way too much time on my hands, right? No, what actually is the case here is inside. It's not nothing, but it's also not cards. Inside this box is a solid steel block. It weighs about, but you can't feel that in your hand, right? It weighs about 1.5 pounds. If that were gold, it'd be worth about $25,000. Alas, still 125. All right. Now let's move along because I hate to tease you here. I did bring a deck of cards with me. Now there are red cards and black cards, correct? Would you name red or black for me? Red. Are you sure? Okay. And there are hearts or diamonds. I want you to imagine that you remove either the hearts or diamonds. Which one do you remove? The diamonds, and you get rid of them, right? So, I want to show you something real quick with the hearts. What I will do is take out a couple of cards here. I want to show you that they're both hearts, but they are both different, right? Only slightly. It's almost a bad joke right there. But I'm not concerned with the value on the face of the cards, because it's more about the fact that these cards have the same value. And I don't mean the face, I mean about $1. I know you didn't know what to expect, but you could have just as easily have said clubs, and I could take out 2 clubs. Once again, the values don't matter, but the outcome is the same. All right, but I know what you're thinking. If you can do that with 2 cards, how about with 1 card? Maybe you're not thinking that, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah. it's okay. Costco, 12 decks for 15 bucks. It won't break the bank. Just. So, that's 3 having gone. Shall we push our luck? Because I still have this half here and I have this half here. I think I'll use this one here. And would you please? Thank you.
Whoa!
Oh. As it steps on my climax to the trick. There we go. Is this going to stay up? All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. Last show of the night, I mean, he literally brought the house. Okay, so let's move on. Once again, I have cards. I'm sorry. Beating around the bush here. I want you to imagine, I know it's strange, but I want you to imagine there's a green flame in front of this table. We need to eliminate the values down to 1. Which do you prefer, face cards or number cards?
Face.
Face cards? So you prefer those, hold them on, or hold on to them, and I will burn the number cards to nothingness, right? So we're left looking at a jack, queen, and a king, right? I want you to imagine then that we turn 2 of those face down. Which ones did you turn face down?
The male ones.
The male ones?
Yeah.
Of course. But you're left looking then at a queen. Years and years of practice. Confined to my room. I can feel it. It's going to be a good one. Actually, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm not for gender equality. But I didn't say they were going to be queens, right? But I do need 4 cards for this next bit. Now I'll be honest with you. And I try to be honest whenever I can. I really do. I really sincerely do. This is probably my favorite piece in the act because I'm known to spend a lot of time working on it. But it's also one of the harder ones, and so it makes me incredibly nervous.
Woo!
And I know it might be hard for some people in the back to see, so I'll try and narrate. What we have is 4 cards. Cover each of the coins. Alright. Now the idea is to get the coins one at a time to jump to one spot. But not like that, because that would be practical and realistic. And I didn't go to Hogwarts for 7 years to move stuff in my hands. Ideally it'd look more like that. Alright, next one over here. We're going to join its friends. More. Dramatic, meaningless magic moment. But hopefully it works.
Oh.
Alright, so that's 2 having gone and 1 left to go. And that's all 3 coins go. Of course, we've been talking about perceptions, and you would imagine if there are 4 coins here. No, actually, there's 1 because it's all. Cool. So you having a good time? I'm not a performer. I don't know how to oversell this stuff. So you having a good time?
Yeah!
All right. So I'll do a couple more things for you here.
I have of you sitting in the crowd. The videoing?
This is probably the hardest part of this show. Of course, I've been beating around the bush. I know. I have cards here, but I have not done a formal pick a card trick yet. But when you think about it, we have kind of had a card selected over the course of the show. Red, hearts, queen. Right? Let's see what I can do. It's done. Sorry, it's totally not my character at all. But now, if you know me, and if you know how much I play with cards, it's not a stretch to imagine that I could hear Queen of Hearts and quickly control that to the face of the deck. But once again, the theme of this show has kind of been about twisting your perceptions. So while that would be possible, it's made very difficult by the fact that this deck of cards is completely stuck together. Any manipulation. Totally impossible. Alright, did you have a good time tonight? Yeah. Alright, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much. I was Brian, Charles,
Gerard,
Fitzpatrick, Gerald, Fonda Hart.